Hello, Float Magic fans. We're excited to come to you today from the Salt Cave. Today we have Melissa Crane with Art and Soul over to speak with us. She is with the Magic Valley Arts Council, but we're specifically going to address Art and Soul while she's here with us because it's an event that's coming up. It's an event that we here at Float Magic absolutely enjoy.
Yes,
and so we're just thrilled to have you here and visit with all of us. So
thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. What a lovely time to get to spend a few moments with you, and especially talking about something I love like Art and Soul.
Wonderful. So to get started, I thought we would give our client base just some information on how Art and Soul got started, how long it's kind of been around.
Absolutely.
A little bit of history.
Yes. I love the history of Art and Soul because it involves two of my favorite people, Art and Bonnie Hogue. They attended an art contest in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that contest is called Art Prize, and it's very well known. They went to that in person, experienced it, and decided they loved it so much they wanted to bring it to Idaho. And they wanted to make that happen in Twin Falls. And so the Hogues, 6 months after seeing this, they put on the first Art and Soul of the Magic Valley and decided that, this wonderful contest could be well received in our community, which it has been. This year, we will celebrate our 13th year of Art and Soul of the Magic Valley.
Oh, wow.
I know,
That's
so exciting.
Yes.
Yes. So the Hogues in year 3 gifted the contest to the Magic Valley Arts Council. So we've been in charge of it since its 3rd year. So for 10 years now, the Arts Council has taken the contest on. And this year, it will be June 9th through July 1st. We'll have over 300 artists enter in the contest, and artwork will be shown in about 90 different locations in Twin Falls. I don't even know how, it's not easy to explain what Art and Soul is.
Right.
It's an art contest. We'll give away around $55,000 in prize money to artists, which is fantastic.
Sure.
102 artists can win. But it's so much more than that, as I know you know.
Yes.
It is, I always like to say, it's an arts appreciation event and a community relationship building opportunity under the guise of an art contest.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And I know that's one of the things you love about it too.
Absolutely. So I know I've shared this with you, but that was Art and Soul was one of the activities, the community events that I could not wait as a business owner to host. It was something I wanted to be involved with. I always enjoyed going around to the businesses, seeing the art, and interacting, seeing how the businesses were pulling local artists and not all local. You have them from all over.
Right. Yes. This year we have artists representing, I believe, 32 different cities in Idaho.
Wow.
And 22 different states.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So exciting. And yes, the businesses are venues or they serve as a mini art gallery during the contest, which runs 3 weeks. And I also love seeing how the businesses or the venues take that on as their own.
Yes.
So we don't lay down rules as to how it needs to be. They get to showcase the art and have special soul-searching events, which are like little artist meet and greet opportunities. They can do all of these things, and it's up to the creativity of the local business, which makes it even more fun, more artistic.
Right.
Yeah.
Pulling that creative process for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I know our first year that we were open, of course, we did Art and Soul right away. And it was first year you guys had the mural street art.
Yes. Thank you so much for being a part of that.
Oh, that was so fun. We enjoyed it, watching the process, and we hosted a big reception because we had 5 artists that were at our venue.
Right. Competing in that mural contest.
Yeah. And so that reception was so much fun because we did it out in our future Zen garden.
Yes.
Which we're hoping to have it done by Art and Soul this year.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So we're hoping that that's where we get to host our artist reception this year. So,
nice.
Yeah. So kind of fun how that transpired and came about. So But yeah, it's a beautiful thing in this community. I've lived in other communities. I haven't seen this in those communities.
Yeah, we're so blessed that the Hogues thought to bring this here and have faith in our community that we could bring this together, which I think is, it's just such a blessing and really it's such a statement to how our community works and how supportive we are. It takes so many venues, so many sponsors, so many artists. But if our community wasn't embracing that, artists wouldn't feel welcome to come and participate.
Right.
And so it really takes all of our community members to make it happen. And it's exciting to see people walking through town and, they've got their yellow walking sheets or their programs and just
looking for the yellow flags at the businesses.
Yes. And this is kind of a side benefit, but selfishly, one of the things I love to hear after it's over, after people have been to, 90 to 100 different locations to see the art, is how much they miss it when it's gone.
Yeah.
And I love to hear that because I love to remind them that we do miss it.
Yeah.
We really do appreciate art and we really do enjoy having it around us, wherever that might be. And to be reminded that when it's gone, we miss it. Yeah,
right.
Good thing to be reminded
yes.
of. Yeah.
Well, and I think that too with the community in this process, can't help but equate that so many of our local businesses carry local art.
Yes.
Like that's,
oh, yeah.
That is and that's one thing when I came to decorate my space, I was like, I'm using local artists.
Yes, you did.
That's what we're doing.
Yes.
And giving those artists a space to showcase, right? Because when you're a young artist or a new artist, you don't have to be young to be a new artist, right? Like I hope to get into painting myself.
And you will.
Yeah, I'll do that one day. We'll see if we enter Art and Soul with it. But yeah, when you're in that space of being new and trying to be vulnerable enough to expose your artwork,
right?
Having a space that's embracing that and saying, come showcase it here.
Yes.
We're happy to put up what you've created.
Right. We have artists enter Art and Soul for so many different reasons. For some, it is very much prize money driven. They want that grand prize. They want the top dollar. And so many other artists are somewhere in between. Some artists will enter and it's the very first time they've shown their work outside of their family, their friends, their
support group.
Yeah, their safe zone. And to take that leap of faith, to be part of their leap of faith and their journey is such an honor to me that we get to help catapult them. It's just an incredible experience.
Yeah. Well, when I was sitting, so we're a venue again this year and going, this is the first year I actually showed up for the selection process because we've always had artists just come to us, right?
Yes.
And so this year, we didn't have any artists we were featuring. So I was like, well, I'm going to go find them at the selection event. And it was really encouraging to see new artists, new to contest.
Yes.
So many of them were new to contest.
Yes, which is exciting. I should say this carefully, but our co-chair, Nikki Halverson, Dr. Halverson, and I spend a lot of time carefully perusing the internet and Facebook and maybe a little bit of Instagram stalking of artists.
Detective background, is that what you're telling me?
Yes, to try and entice people to, or inform people about what Art and Soul is. And to see so many new artists enter the contest is exciting. To bring a different view of the world to us. I say it's an arts appreciation endeavor. And that is part of it, that view of the world that we may not see on a regular basis. And
the perspective, a change in the perspective.
Yes, as well as, the different mediums that can be art. We have a wearable category, and we'll have some really incredible work in wearable. And just to think about those things that we can take for granted, but how they're really... that is art, and that is making a statement, and that changes things. And so I just love how art really impacts our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I was also reminded of how many categories you have.
Yes.
Yeah, how many categories do you have in the contest
We
this
have
year?
20 categories available to enter, which is a lot and not
Yes.
enough
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, there's so many
Yes.
expressions of art.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something that our committee is really interested in doing. We will see that there's a need for a category, and then we will consider opening that and then growing that category so that we can then consider continuing to add more categories and grow the contest.
Yeah. Well, and I know, like, for when we did our mural event night, we pulled in other forms of artistic expression.
Yes.
We had poetry.
Right.
We had music.
Yes.
I would have loved to pull in dance, other expressions of people's artistic and creative flair.
Right.
And I think that's a beautiful representation of how we can just celebrate it.
Absolutely.
Through the whole, it's a month long?
It's 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes.
That's right. 3 weeks. So yeah, just absorbing ourselves and immersing ourselves in all the ways art can be.
Right. Absolutely. And that is the hope, that we can eventually grow so that we are including so many other categories, other forms of expression that are artistic and really valued and appreciated, and remind people that we need that in our lives.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys do a wonderful job with what you have in place right now.
Thank you so much.
So yeah.
It takes a village, and we've got a great one.
Yeah, it's so true. We are so fortunate to live in this community. So on the aspect of businesses and building relationships, with the artists and the businesses in this community, do you have any stories that you'd like to share that really stand out through the years of...
I'm really proud of the fact that I had encouraged an artist from Sun City, Arizona, to enter Art and Soul a few years ago. And I thought that I was approaching a great artist to enter a small contest. And when she received the call, she considered herself an average artist being enticed by a great contest, which I loved. I loved that from the beginning, that we both were coming at it from, I think you're awesome, and I'd like to have you join us. And she was very excited to be asked to be a part of this. She came up, entered Art and Soul, visited for a while, was back the next year with her husband, back the third year, and that year they chose to move from Arizona to Twin Falls, Idaho, because of their experience through Art and Soul.
That's wonderful.
Because our community just loved up on them, and they just wanted to be a part of what we were doing here, which I think is just what a compliment to our community.
Right. Yeah. That we have enough of a community in this artist interest to make people feel like they have a place here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And that their tribe is here, right?
Yes.
That's a beautiful story.
I love that.
Yeah.
Our community does great things all the time.
Absolutely.
And to be a part of an artist's journey and a welcoming part of that journey is so important. And I'll tell another story.
I love it. We love stories.
I have so many stories.
I know. It's wonderful. Share them all.
Years ago, I was at a venue, and there were several pieces of art, and there were a gentleman, older gentleman, maybe cowboy-ish, said out loud, "This work is poo." But that's not the word he used. And I was just so excited. Clearly, it evoked an emotion in him. And I went over, and, when I get all excited, how crazy I can be. And I said, "Oh, I heard what you said," which immediately he was like, "Oh." And I said, "But I'd like to ask you some questions. Clearly, this work evoked an emotion in you." And he said, "This is poo. And I've got no emotion here." But he let me keep peeling back like an onion and asking questions. And he told me he hates art. He's only there to drive his wife around, and he doesn't want to be there. But he just kept letting me ask questions. And pretty soon I came to realize that he actually loves art. He loves Western art, and he had an affinity for landscapes. So about that time, his wife came up, and there were two pieces that I knew that he would really appreciate. So I pointed him out in our program and asked, I don't know if this is on your list, but
Stops.
if you could take him to see this, I think that you guys could form an appreciation together. And unfortunately, I never followed up. I didn't feel like I could peel back enough to get your name and phone number, but
I didn't quite make that relationship connection.
But I was so grateful that he entertained, from I don't want to be here, I don't want to have anything to do with this, to letting himself be open to understanding that he does care about art.
Yeah.
And it was such a win. It just felt so good to be a part of that.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, and I really like how you quantify it evoked an emotion.
Yes.
Yeah, my mother's son and I went down to Phoenix for spring break.
Yeah.
So we went through the museum in downtown Phoenix, and there's some interesting pieces of artwork in that space. And there was one room in particular that it was designed to make you uncomfortable.
Yes.
It was designed to evoke that experience of, what am I watching?
Right.
And do I want to watch this? And how is it making me feel?
Yes.
And what is coming up? And that was the artist's intention.
Right.
Was to put you in a space of having these emotions that you have to go, why am I feeling this way?
Yes.
And how do I feel about feeling this way?
And not all art is created to be beautiful.
Right.
Sometimes there are real messages that are hard, uncomfortable, painful to share, but they must be shared.
Yeah, it's an expression.
Yes.
It's the artistic expression, no matter what emotion that is.
Right. And you don't have to agree with it, but I think to take a position that you can witness it without necessarily agreeing or even disagreeing.
Without judgment.
Right. Yes, without judgment. Yes.
Yeah, you can have discernment in the process.
Yes.
But without labeling it or putting a identifying box to it.
To just be witness can also be powerful. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that really is important. And it is true that sometimes art is intended to maybe get us a little riled up or a little uncomfortable. Sometimes I think we need to be uncomfortable to be reminded of things. And that's a good problem.
Yeah, it is. It's good to dig deep a little bit.
Yes, yeah. We're always doing that.
I know. We tend to do that a lot. Yes. It's true. So wonderful. Well, why don't you give us the details again?
Sure.
So our client base can be sure they access and not miss this wonderful
You don't want to miss Art and Soul.
That's right.
Absolutely. So Art and Soul of the Magic Valley takes place June 9th through July 1st. You can come to the Magic Valley Arts Council and register to vote. Voters are the ones that determine the winners of all the prize money, of all the prize money. And you can see the works of art probably about a month before the contest opens on our website. Magic Valley has art. And just look for the yellow flags with the red hearts and enjoy all that we have to bring.
Yeah. And I know that Flow Magic is really looking forward to being a part of it. And usually there is a downtown walk that happens.
Yes. The downtown stroll is really a lot of fun. So many artists or venues taking advantage of the traffic and then people coming down. And it just is really a fun event.
Fun, lively night.
Yes. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we also will have the youth contest at Magic Valley Mall. Sponsored by Magic Valley Mall and Pioneer Federal Credit Union. We'll have probably close to, I think, 100 youth in that contest.
Oh, excellent.
And prize money is awarded for each division by grades. And just such a fun way to have our young people show their creative talents.
And encourage them to express that and get that out into the public eye.
Yes, off the refrigerator.
That's right.
In the public eye. Yes.
That's right. Exactly. I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for all that you do to champion arts in this community. It's well appreciated.
Thank you so much. You are appreciated.
Thank you. And we just want to remind our viewership that you can tap into our podcast anywhere you can find podcasts. It's Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, it's perfectly okay to stay salty.